Imagine waking up one morning and spotting a couple of dark, stubborn hairs on your chin or your upper lip, very common, and you're saying, "What's happening? What's going on?" Is it hormones? Is it age? Don't worry. Today I'm going to walk you through exactly what's causing this facial hair and, more importantly, how you can fix it inexpensively at home or even in your clinic should you wish. So I see women daily who are dealing with excess facial hair, and the frustration is real. I want to help you understand what's happening in your body and how we can scientifically tackle the issue together today. Facial hair growth can be confusing, but once you understand the why, the how to fix it, it becomes a lot simpler. So let's start by understanding one key thing. Not all facial hair is the same. Did you know 5 to 10% of women in the general population are affected by hirsutism? Sounds fancy, but that's just meaning excess hair growth in areas typically associated with male pattern hair distribution. Think of the face, the chest, and the back. Now you might notice more so a little peach fuzz on your face, or what we call vellus hair. This is totally normal. But what if that fuzz is turning into thicker, darker hair? Those are terminal hairs. And when they start appearing in places like your chin, your upper lip, well, there's more going on here. Now here's a myth we need to bust right away. And many of you still believe this old wives' tale. I know, and I did a poll, and people still thought it, but 90% of people knew the difference that shaving does not make your hair grow back thicker or darker. This has been studied actually extensively. The reality is cutting your hair at the surface blunts the end, and that makes it feel thicker. You have the thickest part on the skin and the darkest part. As it grows back, you think, okay, it's coming back in darker, but it's not. Now, I know I'll get some slack on this. Definitely comment below. When we look at things in medicine, it's percentages. I'm talking 90, 95% of the time. Maybe there's a 5% chance that it does, but the reality is for almost everyone, it does not. There are exceptions in medicine. Our bodies are always different and respond differently, but your hair is likely growing from other reasons we're talking about today, such as driven by hormones, not by razors. So why is this happening, especially if you're past your 20s or 30s? Well, it often comes down to hormones, particularly androgens like testosterone. Women have androgens too, but in smaller amounts. However, when these hormones become unbalanced, whether due to genetics, conditions like PCOS or polycystic ovary syndrome, many of you know, or even menopause, which 100% of women will get, you can see that shift in hair growth. Here's a common patient example. I had a woman in her early 50s who came in distressed this week by sudden facial hair. After a few tests, I found out her estrogen levels had dropped with menopause, and the relative increase in androgens, was causing those stubborn hairs. This is super common, especially post-menopause, and it's important to note that it's not unusual and it's not unfixable. It is, therefore, something you can take care of. Now, it's not just age or menopause. There are a few surprising reasons you might see more hair than usual. Certain medications, you want to think of minoxidil. It's great for growing scalp hair, but it can also cause hair to sprout up on your face if used improperly. Or how about this? Some testosterone supplements. Many women that I see are on testosterone pellets, and they may take post-menopause or premenopause or perimenopause. So before, during, or after the menopause is occurring. Many in their 30s are on these, and they can lead to excess facial hair as well. So you have to watch your levels and slowly bump them up because people like the effect of testosterone, thickening of the dermis, more sexual drive, more energy and fervor, but everything has a side effect. You might see acne as well if that's happening and your levels are too high. So always check in with your doc if you notice these changes in hair growth and you're on those medications. Also, think dexamethasone. This is a corticosteroid and can be prescribed for conditions like asthma or autoimmune disorders, and it can definitely affect your hormone levels, leading to hirsutism or this excess male pattern hair growth. Also, certain anti-epileptic drugs, think phenytoin, known as Dilantin. Oh, while we're here, let's dispel another myth. Plucking hair, will it lead to more hair growth? No, plucking hair removes it from the follicle. And while it may cause some irritation, it does not stimulate additional hair growth. However, frequent plucking can lead to ingrown hairs or irritation. And sometimes, remember, overplucking of the brows, common, I think it was the 90s, you guys tell me. But you could actually kill the follicle. It seemed like a lot of people had follicles that never grew back if you repeatedly plucked them. So consider that. But doesn't grow back, thicker. Now let's talk about PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome. It's common and you need to be aware of this one. If you're dealing with excess facial hair and irregular periods, this could be a key factor. Women with PCOS tend to have higher androgen levels, which can stimulate hair follicles in areas where men traditionally grow hair, like that lip, chin, and jawline. On the flip side, there's something rare called hypertrichosis. It isn't related to hormones, but it can cause excess hair growth all over the body. If that pops up suddenly, it's important to check with your doctor because it can, in rare cases, signal more serious underlying health issues like cancer. Really, really rare, but I just wanted you to know. So now let's fix it. Let's move on to the solutions. You're probably wondering, how can I actually fix this? Well, the good news is back in 2003 to 2007, I had about 11 laser hair removals in multiple clinics. So I dealt with this a lot. Here are some solutions and what I've learned. For some women, topical treatments are a great first step. For instance, there's a cream called eflomethine, and that has been studied for its ability to slow facial hair growth by blocking a key enzyme that fuels hair production. It takes a while to work, and some people don't have the patience. Think about 8 to 12 weeks. So you have to have patience here to get results, but if you want a topical, this is something to look into. For those with hormone imbalances and those with PCOS, oral medications can also be used, and here we use birth control pills. Often it's a simple solution, but there's some trial and error to get the right doses. Specifically, ones that combine estrogen and progesterone can help balance out the androgen levels. Additionally, spironolactone is a common medication that we use to block the effects of testosterone. So be mindful here, it blocks the effects, but it helps reduce both acne and unwanted hair. Often, there's a good effect and there's a bad effect, so it's balancing these. Let's talk more things at home. If medication feels like too big of a step, there are plenty of over-the-counter OTC options that you can try in the meantime. Shaving, okay, it might sound taboo and some women don't want to talk about it, but it's perfectly fine and effective. I have a complete video, and I'll link that at the end, on microblading and shaving. Better yet, dermaplaning. That can have multiple effects at the same time, especially if it's vellus hair that you're dealing with. That kind of white hair that doesn't work so well with laser hair removal. There's also chemical depilatories. Think Nair, Nair. It can help break down the proteins in the hair to make removal of the hair easier. Now, if you're looking for something more permanent, I aforementioned laser hair removal. Also, electrolysis in play. And both of these have come a long way from how we used to use them. I actually just got a new laser hair device in my clinic, and we can now do large areas like a back in under 10 minutes. Underarms, just about 3 minutes for underarms. That's amazing. 23 years ago, a whole back would take my staff 3 hours to do. Now the spot size is big. So it's boom, 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 and we get it done. Just keep in mind, laser hair removal works best on darker hair because of the way it targets pigment. This is what led to so many side effects of burns and hyperpigmentation or hypopigmentation we called striping. More so in the past, but it can still occur. Electrolysis, on the other hand, works on all hair colors. So often that's what we'll use in facelifts, especially with men, or if there's hair growing and the cut, when you pull the skin, imagine the facial hair comes to the edge of the ear. So sometimes you have to deal with facial hair on your ear at the tragus here. And so electrolysis is something often done after facelifts. With laser hair removal, you might need maintenance, especially if hormones are an issue. We call it permanent, but oftentimes it's semi-permanent, meaning you might have to come in for touch-ups once in a while. Now, what about at-home hair devices? You see them advertised. Some of them come from overseas, and you're wondering, do they work and are they safe? Well, I've actually not done a deep dive yet and assessed these, and I don't have any one that I can endorse. Some people have success with these and some don't. The power levels are much lower because at home, obviously these devices are anywhere from $500 to $4,000. The ones that we buy in clinic are about $90,000. You can get them for $40,000, but there's a big difference in a professional grade and at home. I think if you're willing to undergo multiple sessions at home, you do get the convenience of that. And it might take just more sessions. Comment below if you're using one that you like so everyone can benefit. If you want me to do a deep dive into at-home devices, I have many people solicit me to test them. It would take months and months, but I can do it. I can send them to a bunch of patients and we can measure and see. So if you have an interest, let me know, and I will come out and endorse one and get the data, but I'm just not sure if the interest is there. Let me know in the comments below. Definitely know you're not alone in this struggle, but hormones are so complex, you might need some guidance if that's what's going on. You now want to watch this video about estrogen cream for your face and one down here on hormone replacement therapy, because a lot of you watching might be perimenopausal or postmenopausal. Keep your skin and body beautiful, healthy, and vibrant.